A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to some more Super Foam Flying here on HJN. Now's the time where I basically bring along yet another something that's quite a bit more recent, in contrast to many others that I've basically set upon here on this channel. Rival curve shots, well, they call it the flex. Yet another occasion where I've talked about it many times over in well over a decade, and wow, like, no words of mine seem to be taken. But let's not be too biased here. They were able to put back in the tradition of rival names being named after Greek, Roman, Chinese mythology, especially with the 2020 release of the Saturn, which you could basically see right up here. Yep. This exact blaster was basically one of the only pieces that we were able to get in more recent years that did just that. But here, we're calling it the Cronus. Cronus. Curve Shot Cronus. From the rival line, Cronus XXI 100. Right there, of course. But here's the thing about the curve shot line. It basically utilizes a new technology where, as simple as a twist of the barrel counterclockwise or clockwise, will indeed allow for you to choose what angulation an HIR round will be able to fire. Now this blaster is simply put, well, as simple as pulling this down, inserting a round, and then, well, now you're ready. Well, for the most part, as simple of functionality as it could possibly be, I will say that the Cronus actually is doing a little differently than I suspected. Because, well, there's been a problem that I've had for a little while now since I bought it. Well, where occasionally, well, looks like it's not actually, well, looks like it actually is doing what it's supposed to. Well, of course, there was actually this point where initially after I bought this blaster a few years back, wow, this part right here would not stay in the locked position. It would actually become very fragile and easy to basically mess up in a way. Oh, but it looks like it's fixed now. And that should be a good thing. Let's go ahead and fire off one more round. And then of course, well, we got ourselves the curve shot technology. That didn't really look like it curved very much. How could you call it a curve shot blaster when you don't even get many curves off of the barrel like that? Okay, that one just made it bounce off of another blaster I have. I'm officially out now. So I guess that's just where I'm going to call it. After all, I can't really see quite a big future going on for the curve shot series, especially when first things considered, if it's a curve shots blaster, then how is it going to work properly? Well, then again, there are a few other curve shots blasters out there that I'll probably go into further detail on later. But in terms of giving the Cronus itself a score, being that it's a very bulky sized sort of Jolt-esque blaster with some additional pieces, including a few sling attachment points, a barrel that can even rotate 360 degrees if you wanted to. And then of course we also can't forget that, well, there's a safety switch on it. Not to mention storage for up to 8 rounds at once, which, given the circumstances, I'd say that this is a bit of an upgrade over the Oniros, which I also have around here somewhere. Yeah, here we are. Pretty much. It's right up in the corner. You can't really see it, but anyways, For a blaster like this, the Chronos, or if you really want to call it the Flex, it's more or less up to you, but a curve shot blaster, at least for a rival blaster, something that tends to try to give us something new, an interesting idea slash concept, doesn't really seem to be paying off from the likes of it. So you know what? 5.5 out of 10. I mean, the Cronus would not necessarily be as bad of a blaster as many others out there, but at the same time I wouldn't really go as far to give it a big judgmental score of any sort, simply because it probably doesn't want to function as intended, as if it were self-aware, in a way. But the bottom line here, in this case, is that this blaster is basically just a smaller sized variant of what I have yet to expect when it comes to the rest of the line itself, and considering how there have been a few other releases since then, I tell you, the past few years alone, which is knowing the Curve Shot series for that signature orange and white color scheme, alongside their new technology with the barrels and also lots of different ways that you can load, I don't really see a whole lot of big surprises going forward. Maybe Hasbro's just looking for as many potential ways to try and make a bigger profit margin, and I don't really seem surprised by that. Otherwise, it does look like I still have quite a long ways to go here on Super Foam Flying, so be sure to check in for some more content coming soon. And if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.